for this episode of Last Borough Standing, I ventured to the South Bronx to visit Made in Bodega. Made in Bodega is a clothing store in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx on 141st Street. I was able to meet with the designer and owner of the store to ask him about his upbringing in the Bronx and Harlem, as well as his journey into becoming a clothing designer and why he chose to have his shop in this part of the Bronx.
That's what Vanson's like since skate key days. And this Vanson,
That's fire.
it has like fringe and it says 1-800-PRAY for Bodega.
And you've had that for how long?
And I just made this. But he was telling me, I made this like for my birthday or some shit. Cut them in half, sew two halves together, and then do like ugly stitching and patchwork on it. And you wear it with like some ripped jeans and like some Jordan 1s.
I like it.
And it's called an ugly hoodie. And this is the first thing I ever made in my life, and I never sold it.
Question.
Yeah,
Are you
shoot.
still making ugly hoodies?
Yeah, I make them. I sold a lot last week. I don't have one actually here, but I do still make them.
And then how does one request the ugly hoodie? Should we come here with the 2 pieces of hoodies we want to have?
No, I could provide everything, but if you have 2 hoodies that you would love to use, yeah.
And does that change the price?
It can.
Because, you know, some people might want to
Because I'm not using my own donor,
right.
like old college hoodies.
No, that's amazing.
This, I thrifted this. I stole this the
Christina
other
on
night from 149th Street.
The sign.
Thrifted this. The crates, you already know how we give it up.
Yeah.
I thrifted the hat press. Everything. The only thing I really did thrift was my clothing rack, which happened to be the exact size that I needed. And it was on Amazon. The payphone, I thrifted that.
So, like, who have you made clothing for?
I did a lot of merch for Dave East. He has a store called From the Deli, FTD. I've done things for Tiana Taylor. I think the song was Who Gonna Love Me or Love Me More, one of them, where she's walking in Harlem with the doobie in her hair and the Vanson. That's my Vanson on her. And I started her in Method Man for that. Who else? A lot of little regular local rappers. But I don't care about the names. I like styling regular, normal people.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the famous stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff don't mean nothing. They regular people. I like styling the everyday people because those are who you're gonna constantly see and support you.
Yeah.
And I like making them those $1 million looking pieces without them having to have
$1 million.
$1 million, but I give them $1 million experience.
When you hear Last Borough Standing, what do you think of? What comes to mind?
The last borough standing?
I'm calling it Last Borough Standing because I feel like the Bronx is the last borough to really be gentrified or changed completely. Like Brooklyn already transitioned so much. Queens, Harlem starting to, not the east side but the west at least is changing. So that's why I asked you when you hear the Last Borough Standing, what do you think of in that perspective?
I guess seeing how you put it like that, then the Bronx would be the last borough standing. But it's slowly getting gentrified. They moving their little ass up.
Yeah, I've noticed, and I feel like I'm starting to see the changes in certain neighborhoods, which is why I wanted to ask you about this area in particular, because this is where your business is at. So, before I get there, are you from the Bronx, or you're not from the Bronx? You're from Harlem.
I'm from Harlem.
Okay.
But I've lived in the Bronx for a little while.
What part?
When I was younger. 165th Street in Jerome. I guess that's Jerome. It's across from Malali Park. Yeah. I got my first bike stolen over there.
Damn. That sounds tough, but that sounds like the Bronx shit. How old were you?
Probably like 11. They hit me over the head with a
oh no.
With a 40-ounce bottle.
And then
stole my bike.
And then what you did? You just went home?
I cried.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I cried. They were big.
Yeah.
They came out of jail or something.
Damn.
They out here stealing bikes. I actually remembered how they look all the way up until I was maybe like 17.
You ever saw them again?
I never seen them.
Nah. But
Who
you
knows?
remember what they look like?
I probably could have came in here. I got it out of my head. Charge it to the game.
Well, besides that happening to you in the Bronx, like, there's some stuff that Bronx people be going through, but I guess my question to you is, what were some of the advantages and disadvantages you had growing up in the Bronx, and how did you navigate those situations?
Well, the Bronx is tough, and so is Harlem. I lived in both places, but I feel like I don't feel like there's a such thing. Well, for me personally, nothing is a disadvantage. Everything you go through make you stronger. Whether it's something good or whether it's something bad, you learn from both. And I got into fights. I feel like it's not even a Bronx thing. It's a New York thing,
City thing.
in general.
Mm-hmm.
I was just telling somebody the other day of how like a 14-year-old in Jersey is literally an equivalent to a 9-year-old in New York because they so far ahead, like they're advanced.
Yeah.
We're moving way more faster than any other place. This is why they say if you can make it in New York,
You can make it anywhere.
you can make it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And New York turned me into an animal. So anywhere, any city I go to, I feel like I can spot out what they need, what they don't need, what would make money here, what would make money there.
Yeah.
New York made me into what you call that shit? I'm analytical. Any state that I go to, immediately as soon as I get there, it's kind of like my brain is doing homework.
Yeah.
I can't even enjoy my vacation. It's because I'm in New York. I'm in money mode.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, they don't got this over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, they don't even got a white tea spot. They don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, y'all don't got no fitted spot.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm like, damn. I'm like, the closest acai bowl place is how far? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. People can say what they want about New York because I'm one of them. I'm definitely, I'm moving to Houston, Texas in September. I'm going to be opening another Made of Bodega there.
Nice.
And,
Bringing that New York culture to the South.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
They definitely have some amazing house prices.
Mm-hmm.
And they got better weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to know when when you out overstayed your
You're
welcome. I've learned there's nothing else more I can learn here. And I feel like it's like the saying with the shark.
Mm-hmm.
You put a shark in a little fish bowl, he'll only grow about this big. But then you take him out of the fish bowl, then he'll grow gigantic and he's just tearing shit up and
Expanded.
biting people on the beach
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like your comfort zone would kill you. And I'm too comfortable here.
Yeah.
And the support in New York
Different.
is definitely not the best.
Yeah.
Every time I go out of town, people look at me as if I'm a damn alien. Like, yo, like I'm not even real.
Why? 'Cause
You really made those? You made this? You made that? Put it like this. In New York, even people they will sit and act like whatever you're doing is so normal.
Mm.
Even if it's astronomical, they will act like what are you doing? It's not great. They'll downplay it secretly, and they just won't give you the recognition that you deserve, no matter how bad you want it. And I feel like a lot of people, they always feel like they have to make it here first, and they have to say they made it here, and then they never leave. When you could literally just go to another state and do 20% of what you're doing here.
And it'll blow everybody's mind.
And it'll blow everybody's mind. Because whenever I go to any other state, they acting like they ain't never seen nothing like this before. And that let me know I'm not doing the wrong thing. Because New York will have you feel like you're doing the wrong thing and what you're doing is not working.
Mm-hmm.
All because they displaying their insecurities onto you.
A lot of projection.
And the average person, whether it's New York or not, they already gave up on their dream. So how could you expect them to, support yours? But when I go out of town, them strangers go crazy. And it's not like I want you to be on my shit. I want what I'm owed. Like, I want what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Treat me what I'm worth.
Yeah.
And in New York, people treat you as if you're worthless. And whatever you're doing, you'll go to the roof and you'll jump off and you'll land on your feet. And dare say, I seen it before. He didn't fly after he landed on his feet.
Yeah.
His legs hurt. He didn't jump off of 2 buildings though. And I'm like, what? No matter what you do, they will not give you your credit. But then when I go to other states, they're like, man, if you was to put something here, you'd be rich. They're going crazy. They're trying to buy the shit off of my back in the airport. Following me in the airport.
Yeah.
And then in New York, they're like, that shit ain't nothing. They'll walk past and frown their face.
Yes, my question for you is,
what made me come to the Bronx?
What made you end up in the Bronx?
I opened it here because the landlord fell in love with me, picked me over 5 other people. I actually found this place by accident. I was 2 weeks away from moving to Ohio at the moment for the house that I told you I thrifted. And I was actually going to open one in Pittsburgh, which was only 18 minutes away from the house that I bought. And they have an up-and-coming, thriving art community. But when I chose to put it here, besides the price that I got it for, I put it here because of my heart, not my business mind. Because anyone in their right mind that's about their business, you know damn well that this store you could place where?
Anywhere.
In New York, like, where would you place this in New York?
This type of store?
Yes.
In New York or in the Bronx specifically?
And not in the Bronx. The Village,
maybe
Soho,
some parts of Brooklyn.
or West Fourth, or even Williamsburg.
Some parts of Brooklyn for sure,
And
or even in Queens.
You'll literally be rich.
Yeah.
I knew that already, but
you chose to put it here.
I put it here because of my heart. I was like, they're putting fucking smoke shops on every corner. These kids, like when you little, sometimes, if you're not strong-minded and you don't think outside of the box, as a kid, you feel like you can only be
a certain thing.
What you see.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you grow up in a neighborhood where it's violence, crime, either selling drugs or playing basketball, you never really see people go to college, not in those poverty-stricken neighborhoods. So it's like, how can you be something that you never see? It's rare. And we got smoke shops on every corner. You don't have no real art programs. You don't see no young black men on a sewing machine. Any sewing machine you see in the hood is in the windows of a cleaner's. And the person is usually always Chinese, or they have someone Spanish working on the sewing machine, but it's owned by Chinese. If we've seen more black beauty supply stores, young girls might say, I want a beauty supply store when I get older. If we've seen black bodegas growing up, then maybe a little young black boy might say, I make a mean bacon, egg, and cheese in the house. I could have a black bodega.
There's very few black bodegas.
And when you say few, it's probably 2.
Yeah, like a handful that I know of. It's not like...
I've never bought a bacon, even though I don't eat meat anymore.
You never bought a bacon, egg, and cheese from a black bodega?
Freaking. I've never bought a bacon, egg, and cheese in a roll from a black man. It's always from a guy that we call Poppy. Or Ak. Aki. Yo, Ak, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese and a roll before I smack the shit out of you.
Or chopped cheese, everything on it, yeah. Was there anyone influential in your upbringing that shaped the trajectory of your life? Like, it could be a teacher, a family member, someone from your block. Anyone?
I never used to.
Anyone that kind of like said something to you and then you were like, oh no.
Nah, I didn't have no OGs or no role models. What happened was, I guess I was being a follower. I didn't know who I was and what direction I was going in. It was a lot of things that I wanted to wear and do, but I used to be scared of how other people look at me. And that comes a part of growing up when you're young. You're trying to find yourself. You don't know who you are. I'm a big believer of, you don't know who you are, then usually, you don't know what you want. And usually you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are, then usually you don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, then usually you're lost and you'll wind up doing anything that someone tells you to do. But one day I watched a music video and I seen a dude named Camron. And immediately it changed my life.
Yeah.
And I'm a grown man now. But then
when you saw that,
it's something I needed to see. It's like you usually, as a kid, you could never be what you don't see.
Yeah. And what did you see in Camron that did it for you?
It seemed like, anybody who could talk like this, rap like this, dress like this guy do not give two shits what anybody has to say. How is he from Harlem and he's able to dress like this?
Yeah.
And no one's saying nothing?
Fur coat. Yeah.
And I always, since young, I always wanted to wear fur. And I always wanted to have, I had wanted to put, bandanas on my Timberlands. I even had, the stuff where I was going to glue them.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
nah.
People don't do that. And somebody, they're going to laugh. And you'd be surprised, how many grown men now, still to this day, they wear things that they don't want to wear. They go and buy things that they don't want to buy to impress other niggas that don't put no money in their pocket. Imagine going to work and busting your ass for a job you don't even like. And then you're taking your earnings and buying things that you don't like because other people
are wearing it.
Yeah. And you're scared to wear what you want to wear. And there's grown men like that right now, to this day. I see them. I hear them speak all the time. And that's crazy to me. 14, okay, that makes sense. 13, that makes sense.
But as a grown adult.
I seen it at 13. Camron never went back. Immediately, I was like, oh, you could do this. I found out who their seamstress was. Some skinny Spanish guy. And a hole in the wall. And I was getting the same clothes made that they was getting made. I started drawing on my Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Immediately, it changed, overnight. I was a whole different person. And the people saying, yo, you changed. I didn't change. I'm the same person. I know who I am now. And he did it for me. I ain't gonna lie. He don't really drop a lot of new music or anything, and he doesn't even dress the same way that he used to. I guess people
change.
People change.
Yeah.
But Camron did it. He did it for me. If he never existed, I don't think I would probably even exist. I'd probably be in the military somewhere. Yeah. We're talking to a nice librarian or some shit. I don't know. But he did it for me. I even named my son. Camron.
Oh, for real?
After
you
Camron.
spell it the same way?
Yep.
That's how you know it's real. When you name your kid after.
My son is who he is because of me.
Yeah.
I'm who I am.
And he's watching that through you, as a child, he's seeing his parent,
See, I got a picture of Dipset right next to the phone.
Oh, I see it with the pink fit.
And it's funny, Jim Jones hit me up in my DM the other day.
Oh yeah? What he said?
2 weeks before that, George Santana. And these are people that I never even thought I would speak to. And I'm speaking to these people.
And now they're DMing you.
Because of Made a Bodega.
Look at that. Full circle. Yeah. Do you have a favorite designer?
Nope.
No favorites. Just
Nope.
you and your vision.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't watch them. I don't look at them. Growing up, I used to love Vansons. I love Vanson. I don't know who designs them, but like I'm a fan of Vanson, and I know the whole story.
Yeah.
But as far as like these designers, you know, no shade to Balenciaga, the rest of them, but no, I'm my favorite designer.
I know that's right.
I don't look, because once you start looking at these people, it starts to be in your subconscious. You will start to make something similar to these people. My man hit me up the other day. We just having a conversation. He's like, and all of a sudden he's like, you don't never wear Balenciaga. I don't never really see you wear no other brand. And I was like, I can't afford them. They're too expensive. He was like, what you mean? I know you make money. I said, don't count my pockets, nigga. He was like, nah, like, I know you got bread.
Not pocket watching.
Said, why you don't wear? I said, I can't afford them. I said, it's not that I don't have the money. I can't afford to wear somebody else's brand, not even for one day. Unless it's my son. If my son created a brand or a really close friend, they wanted me to wear it while I'm doing like a interview or something, I would do it for them. But as far as that, I can't afford none of these other brands, because the one day that I choose to wear someone else's brand, that's a day that I could have met someone to change my life for my brand or for the life of my brand. Because they would have been like, yo, what in the fuck is that? But yet they see me with a Balenciaga hoodie and then, or a Babe hoodie. Because I used to love my Babe hoodies and I don't wear them no more. I'm about to give the last one away.
Yeah.
I almost wore it the other day. A day after me and my man was having this conversation. And I wound up putting my own hoodie on. I had a hoodie on with Martin Luther King with a fitted on, a Yankee fitted, a design that I made. And then someone took me to lunch, and I'm eating in a soul food spot. And mind you, I was just about to put my Babe hoodie on that morning. I was like, nigga, you were just having this conversation. Practice what you preach. Because I couldn't remember why I haven't worn it in so long. Long story short, sitting down eating, and as I always face the door, so I can see
who's coming in and out.
It's like, I don't know, it's the New York in me.
That hypervigilance all the time.
Even though I don't have no beef in Hackensack, New Jersey,
you still gotta be on the lookout.
I'm still like,
yeah.
I'm eating, watching the door.
You gotta constantly be on watch everywhere you go.
And I look up, and Charlemagne the God walks inside the restaurant. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna talk to him. But you'll never bother nobody while they ordering, while they handling their money, or while they eating their food, or if they with their woman or whatever. He's by himself. I waited till he ordered, and before I could even go talk to him, he walked straight up to me. And he said, what up, King? And we just started chopping it up. And he gave me his details of where to send like Made a Bodega stuff. And I was telling him about Made a Bodega. And you see, that's a perfect example of how the universe will test you to see if you actually living how you're saying that you live.
Yeah.
Because I just had this conversation the night before. My man's asking me why you don't never wear other brands. And I said, I can't afford to. Because the one day that I wear something, somebody else shit, I could run into somebody that could have changed my life for my brand or ran into a connection. And I'm wearing somebody else shit. And then the next morning, I run into Charlemagne the God.
And you got on your own shit.
And I have on my own shit.
Yeah.
So some days, I wear my own shit like 3-4 days in a row. This hoodie, I had on this hoodie for 2 days.
Yeah.
This is my second day wearing this hoodie.
It's
and
fire.
I don't give a fuck, because what is anybody gonna tell me?
Exactly.
Oh, he's poor, he don't got no clothes?
No.
I could lock myself in the store and make enough hoodies to last me 1 year. I make these. I make these from scratch. So like I could make all of those.
Tell me more about the design inspiration of your clothes and your hoodie.
This little journey or whatever you call it, I became really spiritual, because There's no other explanation for how to explain what has been happening to me on this whole journey. It has been insane. From people having dreams that God told them to give me a sewing machine, to me teaching myself in 8 days, for me laying on the floor of my grandmother's house for 2 weeks looking at the ceiling, to writing a vision board that I want to be a homeowner, or I want to take Nutcrackers to the next level, I want to start a brand, I want to take a brand to another level, I want to teach myself to sew, to me literally doing everything on there, to me not complaining about money or lack of money anymore, and just utilizing what's around me, because I'm a big believer of, if you utilize what God has given you, or whoever you believe in, the universe, Allah, whatever, if you utilize what your creator, whoever your creator is to you, has given you without making excuses, he will allow, or he or they will allow other people to come right into your life and help you along your journey. You just got to put your foot forward, and then all of a sudden somebody will be like at the bus stop standing next to you.
Yeah.
Hey, I like those that you got on. And really, I made it. Oh, really? I'm a master seamstress. I used to teach in FIT, blah, blah, blah. Let's go have coffee, and et cetera, et cetera. Or like what happened to me 2 months into sewing. I'm looking for a thread store, fabric store near my area. I was staying at Throgs and Neck, and the closest fabric store it showed me at the time was a little fabric store in Castle Hill, like a block from the train.
Well, that's my favorite fabric store.
She lives in Castle Hill.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She sold it.
She sold what?
The fabric store.
To a new owner.
To a new owner.
I don't like the new owners.
So I used to go there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little nice little lady. She used to be in there with her daughter, who has special needs, but her daughter is like a master in like fixing sewing machines. Yep, she has literally like one arm, and she gets busy. And I remember talking to the mom, and she used to tell me like, her son don't be helping her at the shop, and she just be sad, and then like she don't be eating properly. It was literally went in there for thread, and we was talking for like 8 hours, like we closed the store.
Yeah.
And then the next day I found myself thinking about her, and I was like, I ain't doing shit but just like sewing in the room. Let me go check on her and like bring her some lunch. So I go bring her some lunch and start talking to her, and then I just start chilling there every day.
Yeah.
And then I remember, this is a perfect example to play on what I was just telling you. I was telling her how I want to start working on shoes, and I was showing her this machine that was like $3,000. It's like a 150-year-old machine or some shit, 175 years old, and it was a Singer 29K, and they call it the patcher. Like you can sew leather, you got to spin it with a wheel, and you use your foot. So even if Con Ed cut your lights off,
You can still do it.
you could do it.
Yeah.
You could put that shit in the park, and you can just sew on leather with your little thread. And she's like, I've seen that before. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my money together, and I want to just start doing shoes. I want to do Air Force Ones. I always said if I told myself to sew, that I would get into the shoes. She's like, I've seen it before years ago. I don't know where. So then I'm helping her close the store, and literally I see some stuff like in her window display. I said, when the last time you did your display? I was like, I always wanted to do a display. She was like, you could put some of your stuff in there if you want, and then maybe like I could help you sell it faster.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't getting no sales for nothing at the time. I was like, really? Because I remember years ago I used to put in for the displays to work at Macy's, Forever 21, H&M, but they never used to hire me. But everything is for a reason.
Yep.
Nothing is by accident. Everything is by design.
Yeah.
Long story short, she was like, I said, can I clean it out
for you? Because it looks like there's a lot going on back there. So the next day, I come ready, got my gloves, everything. I'm gonna windows for her, and I'm gonna clean out the joint. As soon as I start cleaning it out, the machine that I asked her for the night before is
Right
back
there.
there. And it's been in her window for 15 years.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
I had only known her for 1 month,
Yeah.
but I was helping her and dumping the trash,
Right.
and helping her with customers. I was there so much that people thought I worked there. I still run into people in the street, and they say, "You don't work at the sewing shop no more?"
Like, nah.
And I'm like, "I never worked there." What? I'm like, "Yeah."
I was just there.
I was
But I didn't
just
work
there. She was like, "Why would you do that?"
Why not?
I was like, sometimes
Yeah.
things happen like that. I got one better for you. I'm broke as hell, right? I want to start printing shirts. So one of my really, really good friends, he hit me up. But I'm looking on Offer Up for heat presses. So he interrupts me while I'm looking for heat presses on Offer Up. And I pick up. I'm like, "What you want?" Because he always up to something. So, but it's my real good friend though. He a good guy. He's a really great dad too. My boy Jump. And he's just like, "Yo," now put his business out there, but he's like, "I'm going couch to couch at the time,
Yeah.
and I need you to pick up a bag for me." I'm like, "Nigga, what kind of bag?"
Yeah.
He's like, "If it was drugs or something, I wouldn't tell you." Because
Shoot.
This shit.
any old jeans that you have too, or any old pants, any old clothes, I can revamp your old clothes for you.
Really?
All of these were made out of scraps. I just did that for Nicki Minaj.
You really doing
The
your
pink
thing.
hoodie. That's called a Ric Flair hoodie. And this is a Ric Flair sweater because the arms are like, they super flared.
Right. Oh, shit.
And they all one of one. And I make them out of scraps that people donate to me.
Right.
And they all like religious inspired.
Nah, you got something going on. That's what I like though. In the community too. That's fuck.
I appreciate that.
There's no mirror with that mirror at. This show snatch this. Look, I gotta come. This is I ain't gonna lie, I gotta come snatch this. You said it's $5?
They look good on you.
Yeah, I know. I be seeing this good shit right.
But
Yeah.
back to the bag.
Yeah.
You just gotta appreciate what God is trying to show you.
Yeah.
Appreciate what God is trying to show you.
Yeah.
Don't try to force anything.
Yeah.
Let it flow naturally.
Your friend had you pick up a bag. You didn't know what was in the bag.
But when he called me to pick up the bag,
Yeah.
I was looking for heat presses and I was broke as shit. And I went and picked up the bag for him. And I didn't even look in the bag till days later. And when I finally look in the bag, there's a fucking heat press in the bag. And I asked him like, "Yo, can I use it?" He was like, "It's in your house, right?" I'm like, "I'm just not gonna just touch your shit. I did a favor for you, but that don't mean I'm obligated to your shit."
Right.
And I was like, "You would never believe when you called me, I was looking for heat presses on the actual phone. You interrupted me on Offer Up by calling me and sidetracked me." And I said, "Now, like, I have a heat press in my house." He's like,
Yeah.
"Well, you could use it until I'm ready to get it back." And he never came.
And he
got
just used
back.
it.
It was like 2.5 years later.
Yeah.
And I had already upgraded to another one because that one had died like in a flood or some shit. And then I wound up upgrading that one to this one. So this is literally like my third heat press.
Yeah. Look at God.
And
You
this
literally
one just broke the other day.
It did?
And
How you fixed
And
it?
it electrocuted me and
What?
knocked me back to here. And I had to cut off all the breakers in here.
Wait, you
And
wasn't in no
then-
pain?
Nah, it just caught
It just
me off
kind of
guard.
shocked you, yeah.
And I took it apart and put a whole new piece
And
on it. And it's not even the piece for it. And because I was backed up in orders, it's fucking me up. And I had the money, but I didn't want to go buy another heat press like this for like $1,200.
yeah.
And it works better than it was before now. No excuses.
None.
Hey, cut.
In what ways do you engage with the local community, and like, I guess, how do you give back to the community?
I make sure that if it's a single mother, and I know she don't got it like that, because I watch everyone in a community. I make sure that I let them. You could pick your price. You pay what you can afford.
Yeah. Do you
I'm also going to be doing a food drive to feed the homeless soon.
Oh yeah.
Because I used to do those in my neighborhood on 110th Street with a program called CWAP. And I used to do food drive to feed the homeless at our battered women's program. And I used to get like people to donate and give them things. The program used to cater to women that were battered, and they lost their children due to putting their children in bad environments because they were in like relationships. So CWAP used to be the middleman, where they bring the child and then the mom meet there, and they supervise them without being on their back and give them like a nice safe place that don't be all in their face and shit. So I used to get like my mother boyfriend, he worked for a moving company. I got them to donate a whole bunch of money and to the program, and get all of their families from the moving company to donate like PlayStation 2s and 3s that they weren't using, and like coats and stuff, but like they had good shit. So then we got had like a whole little PlayStation little center inside of there for the kids. I used to cook for them also. And you'd be surprised, like you start taking things for granted when you see just something as simple as some mac and cheese and yams and collard greens home cooked.
Something to eat.
How people react to that. And like, because there's so many people that haven't had a home cooked meal in months.
Yeah. Yeah, the food insecurity is real.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Made Bodega will be doing food drives to feed the homeless.
Do you know when?
I have no idea when.
We'll be on the lookout.
I'm trying to coordinate that. I am going to be doing a back to school drive here though, right before school starts, because I'm going to be getting the store manager to run this store in September, and I'm going to be going to get another property in Texas and opening a storefront there.
Okay. Speaking of opening storefronts, that leads me to my next topic that I wanted to talk to you about, which is the changes that are starting to happen, especially in this area. So I want to get your intake on like your thoughts on gentrification and some of the things that you're seeing, and just your perspective on if you think it's like, how is it good and how is it bad?
I got a few different angles. It's bad. I'll talk about the bads first. I feel like it's bad because a lot of people who weren't ready for change will get pushed out because they can't afford to live there now. I would say it's tricky, but it's not tricky. So I'm gonna give it to you raw. And people should appreciate things while they have it. Because it's like a boy that you're dating, or let's say me, I'm dating a girl, and I treat her really, really well, and I'm giving her things she's not used to. She don't realize what she has, because she doesn't know how to reciprocate the love that I'm showing her. She's used to just horrible shit. So now she's looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm trying to, do good things for her. I'm giving her flowers and I'm cooking for her 5 days a week, and she's treating me like trash. But then soon as I get rid of her and then I go date someone else and I'm doing all of these things for her, now all of a sudden she want to talk shit. And we had Harlem first for mad long. And these same buildings that we used to pass by every day, and we want to sell crack there, and we want to, you know, nothing wrong with graffiti, but we, you know, we just throwing trash everywhere. We treating things like shit. We had it first. Nah, it's free, homie. I charge you.
Damn, it's free? I didn't even know that. You must be here all the time now.
Nah, he hasn't came in here since I put that in here, but he was here before that. I thrifted them.
So you just come in here from time to time? Just
to see what it's like, what's going on, you know.
I love
I'm
that.
trying to collab with this fine man right here to, I don't know, something to make.
sorry, I'm just
So I had a customer in here. People come in here for a t-shirt, and then they just talk to you. We start talking, chopping it up. We be ordering Spanish food. They be in here for like 8-9 hours.
all day.
And they only
That's some
came
real
in for a
Spanish shit.
t-shirt.
That's some real
Or they only came in here to get a card. And then next thing you know, we chopping it up.
Yeah.
Then 4 other people would come and be like, yo, you used to live in my mother building. And then next thing you know, we rolling dice over here in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets crazy.
I had a question.
Shoot.
How much be y'all hoodies?
How much be y'all hoodies?
Y'all hoodies is fine, not gonna lie.